Yo, what's up? It is the Purple Yeti. He is back. A little late, but I was too busy celebrating. Oh, I'm feeling bold. Just like Dr. Pepper 10. Not a commercial. I got my ridiculous moniker. That is the Purple Yeti. And I also have my tasty little shirt. Purple, get ready to, can you see it? Roll. That is exactly what happened Saturday when Kansas State rolled all over the Miami Hurricanes. And I'm not taking anything from my boy, the K-State mask or whatnot, but he is correct. They weren't even real. They just didn't even happen. Yeah, sorry. Colin Klein, kind of a Heisman dark horse, not really sure just yet. What impressed me the most, though, was Daniel Sams. We have got a future, and of course, when I say we, we're talking Purple. Got a future in that kid. Woo! That guy has got some moves. He is fast. So, in case you didn't know, Kansas State won 52 to 14, 11 billion. You know what? I don't really know. So let the shining light of ESPN come down on me, and I will be able to illuminate myself as well as you. So what the actual final score was, and I want to say that 52 to 13 is what I like to call a romp, a roll. So I am in a good mood. Not much in news going. I'll go through a little bit of news, but I just want to talk about my Saturday, and hopefully you had a good Saturday for whatever team that you were rooting on. Hopefully it was in the Big 12, and even more hopefully it was Kansas State. But if that did not happen, that's fine. It's all good-natured fun, and boy, was this weekend fun. I, of course, run kccollegegameday.com, if you have not figured that out. If you're coming from YouTube, go to kccollegegameday.com on your web browser and check it out. I was busy watching some football Saturday, and I also got these oafish fingers into some really thick, sweet, saucy mix, and tossed a couple of buffalo wings. Check it out on the Football Feedings and post, and cook it up yourself. I recommend the Jamacain jerk recipe because it's all the VooDoo done to taste. That's right, no measurements. You just close your eyes, you chop your hats and your habaneros, and you toss in a whole bunch of stuff, and you just hope that whatever you conjured up is very tasty and does not take your soul. It did not take mine. But it did make me tear up just a little bit. So, with that said, go there, get the recipe, come back, still watch, don't stop, and let's talk some college football. So, of course, starting out the day was Kansas State and Miami. That was a great win. Got the KCCGD headquarters set up rocking. It is a frugal setup, but it is the most efficient way to watch the most college football possible, which one of these days I will communicate that and maybe share the wealth and the joy that is college football. So between that game, watch Penn State lose another close game. It's Penn State. It's rebuilding. I mean, their heart's out of it by now. They're already 0-2, so they're done. Notre Dame barely got their hands on the Shillelagh Trophy, or the Shalala, from Purdue. That was a close little matchup, but they ended up coming out on top. I watched the Cyhawks. Speaking of rivalries, I watched a little bit of the old Cyhawk Trophy game between Iowa and Iowa State, and I gotta tell you, do not sleep on Paul Rhodes, especially when you got a quarterback named Steele Dance in there, because he totally made me dance in my pants with the kind of plays that he did. Some of it was good, some of it was bad. He's not exactly Colin Klein. That's right. I'm starting to make those comparisons. He did a good enough job to where they beat a very derelict and down Iowa. I think you might see Kirk Ferentz be pushed out, not unlike a certain coach from Kansas State a couple years ago, where hey, you've done great for the team, but now it's time to kind of go. Might happen for Iowa, or they might actually like recruit a running back that doesn't either get in trouble or get injured. That would help too. I hear Ricky Stanzi's looking for work, or at least he should. So kudos to Iowa State on that tasty nugget. In between the heat and the sweat, not only from the wings, but from cooking the wings, um, I got to watch a little bit of the other games. And that Abita, Giacomo IPA, it's very tasty, goes great with it. You should try it out. The Georgia-Missouri game was pretty huge. And conversely, Texas A&M and Florida. Although Texas A&M was kind of, it went is how I expected. They were up at halftime and then they lost in the second half. They don't know how to finish. That's Texas A&M for you. A lot of smack talking and no walking, or at least they walk halfway down the block and then they just kind of trip and fall on their face and maybe break a jaw against the curb or something. I don't know. So, Missouri and Georgia was the biggest game of the week because, believe it or not, Missouri actually had some offensive talent. And we see the wily Gary Pinkel and the somewhat inebriated Gary Pinkel, or Drinkle as I like to call him, rear back and fire with James Franklin against the old man football Georgia Bulldogs. And that is the last time I'm going to say that, because old man football is tired. It is a tired phrase by some Missouri guy, not Trent Richardson, I don't know, whoever, talking some smack, and it was good pinboard material, and Georgia used it all right. And basically, Missouri choked the game away, not unlike Texas A&M, going for it, faking it on 4th and 11 and just turning the game around. I mean, you can't do that. And to compete with Jarvis Jones, linebacker for Georgia, that guy's a beast. He's like Ray Lewis minus the murder rap. So, I mean, you cannot. I gotta give credit to Georgia, although granted Missouri was not a ranked team coming into this year. Georgia is still good for one more loss in the early on in the season. I feel like it's gonna happen possibly next week. I don't know who they're playing because I don't care. So that was that game, and then I watched Oklahoma State fall back down to earth. There's this expectation. I wouldn't say expectation. There was a thought that maybe Oklahoma State would be reloading, but they're just downloading a new template from the internet for a quarterback, because Wes Lunt, true freshman, can't expect him to win every game, not in his first year. But if it's anything like Texas Tech or the air raid offense, what Mike Leach is slowly trying to rebuild at the Wazoo, you get your quarterback in, they have the first bumpy year, and then they progress and get better and better and better. So it's not Oklahoma State's this year. They're just going to reload, and they'll do all right. They'll do pretty good. They're just not going to win a Big 12. What else? Games of the evening. Yeah, I watched that, and that's about it. I was in and out. The coma the meats of the wings, which, if you didn't know, it was the Jamaican jerk, but I also have my own hot sauce slow burn style and some honey barbecue to kind of counteract. So in between that and the six-pack of the Giacomo IPA, I was in and out of coma by the end of the evening, so I really don't remember anything else from that. Poll analysis. Well, first of all, my picks sucked. I'm not even going to talk about my picks. I might do it in the pick it and stick it later this week. Let me just say that I think some of that VooDoo got into my decision making and just made some terrible, terrible decisions. But it's the first week of the season. I can drop 2 so it's still in it for me. Um, Top 25, Kansas State made a big jump. Arkansas choked the game away against Louisiana Lafayette, or Lafayette, Louisiana, UL, Monroe. I don't know. One of the other Louisiana schools. Someone leave a comment below and just tell me who, because really they're so small. They shouldn't have beaten handily. Well, okay, they shouldn't have beaten Arkansas, and they did. So Arkansas out of the top 25. Nice to see Kansas State get that bump from the Miami roll. And next week they have North Texas, which is just far enough of a drive away from me that I'm not making that trip. But Baylor game, you never know. Purple Yeti from Waco, can we have stadium spotting? Maybe. So, news. Talked about top 25. Wisconsin choked the game away against Oregon State, and the offensive line coach was fired or resigned. One of the two. We all know what really happened. He's gone. Kansas lost to Rice. Yada yada yada. Who cares? They lost. Rebuilding is going to take longer at Kansas than it will at Oklahoma State. That's for sure. Alrighty. Oh, anything else? That might just do it. There's no other major news out besides Al Pacino might play Joe Paterno. Hooah! But that's done. That's a punchline you'll see on my Twitter. If you follow me, twitter.com @KCCGD, you can find those wonderful quips and maybe a little bit more recap of the news of the day. The season is in full tilt. Not a lot of news stuff I'm going to talk about in the Purple Yeti roars. You might hear a little bit more roaring for me. So, man, there is nothing really that exciting. Just getting geared up for this next weekend. Analysis, not much of analysis, more of a recap. One of the things I can tell you is that if Colin Klein goes down with injury, he is going to have a great backup in Daniel Sams. Might actually even be better than Colin Klein. And I am very interested to see what that old wizard up there in Bill Snyder's famous stadium has got conjuring up. In fact, Bill, Jamaican jerk, do the recipe, do the receipt. You might be able to work some of your own voodoo with Daniel Sams, Colin Klein. I'm just saying, it's the opposite of a slow burn. It will light your team on fire. So that's coming up. North Texas is coming up. I'm probably going to be a little bit more pumped for Oklahoma the week after. The Kansas State Wildcats will be going to Norman after that. Super scared about that. We'll talk about that next week. But in the meantime, I'm celebrating a K-State victory. If your team won, you should celebrate a victory. Again, leave me comments below about some of the smaller schools that beat teams from the SEC, because it makes me happy. And subscribe somewhere. I don't think I actually have a link button to subscribe, but I like pointing up here anyway. So, with that said, folks, it's another Purple Yeti Roar. Week 2 is in the book for college football. Give a shout out to my homie K-State Mask. You got better production quality, homie. Keep it going, and give me some more of those weird stares and close-ups. I dig it. It makes me dance in my pants just a little bit. So, until then, hey, keep it real, people, and I'll see you guys next time.